Okay, what I'm doing here tonight is I'm packing some roots I bought off a friend of mine and some moss. So I thought I'd make a video and try to show y'all how to do this. First of all, you get your moss into a tote. You can buy these at the dollar store for $4 or $5 or something. Put your green moss in there. Turn the green, put you a layer in the bottom. I always put it on the sides too. You don't want your roots, the little hair roots, uh, getting out and touching the side of the plastic. They'll start rotting if you do. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting them in here. You take your bigger roots and put them in first. That's what I do. Lay them in there. And don't try not to pack them on top of each other. The whole purpose of this moss is to keep the air from getting onto the roots, and to keep them damp. If you pack them all on top of each other, there's going to be air spaces in there everywhere, and they're going to dry out where the air spaces are, and they won't keep very good that way. I don't know if you're seeing this. I'm not trying to video this and do it at the same time. As also, like this right here on this big root, this is not good. I bought this from a friend of mine. He had a patch he had kind of inherited when he bought the land. His daddy dug it for him today. He done a pretty decent job on it, but he didn't know what he was doing all that much, and he really didn't know about some roots being that big. Didn't expect it to be that big. But now, like this is what I want to see. All these hair roots on here everywhere. That's the way a root's supposed to look. So, I mean, this is an amateur doing this. Surely you professionals that's been doing it for years can do it. I leave a little bit of a stalk with it, usually no more than an inch. It helps. One thing, it helps keep the plant fresh. They'll pull what nutrients is in that little bit of stalk down into the root. This one's tore up a little bad, as you can see yourself. Might get that one by. My buyer might buy it. I don't know. It's kind of iffy. Most of these are all right, though. That's about all I want to put in there in one layer. Once you get them in there like that, layered in, I can get you some moss. I take hydrogen peroxide, dampen it down. It's good if you do it and let that hydrogen peroxide. Moss don't have many. It's got iodine in it naturally, so it's a natural antibiotic, antifungal to begin with. You don't want to get it very damp because you'll crack your roots if you get too much moisture on them. Also, something right here with these big roots that I wanted to show you. If you just put a piece of moss on that, you're going to have a hell of a time keeping them, keeping the airspace out. So take and get you some little pieces of moss, pack in around these. Just tear it up, pack it in around these big roots like that, so that when you put your next piece of moss on, you don't have to put a lot of pressure on it to get it down in there to try and fill in the air spaces and wind up breaking your roots up doing it. Especially like you got a long neck like that on something like that. Take and pack some moss around it and support those necks, support those pieces like that with these little pieces of moss, so that you don't wind up breaking your roots all to shit while you're trying to preserve them. That's never a good thing. There you go. See now how it's starting to level out in there instead of just being a up and down all over the place. You couldn't get your next level. You put your next level of moss on there, and it wouldn't fill up the air spaces if you'd done it that way. Put your next layer of moss on there, and just put it down in there and seal it. Good. And I'm gonna have to cut a little piece off of that, but I can't do that video at the same time. That's basically the gist of it. Turn you another piece of moss up like that, ideally with the green side up. If you want to put them in on the bottom of this moss, I do it sometimes myself. If they're going to be in there for a long time, these aren't, so I'll probably do that myself today. These are only going to be there for a few days. If they're not going to be in there for a long time, that's fine. But if you're going to keep them in there for months, I suggest you really pack them in good, fill all the air spaces, and turn green on Ginseng. And really maybe not even put as many as I had put down in there. You don't want your Ginseng touching Ginseng very much. And if you're going to leave them in there for very long, I also suggest that you check on it once in a while. That's all for tonight. I'm going to post this, and hopefully this helped some of you. Thank you.